This segment is sponsored by the Potawatomi Zoo.
It's a wild Wednesday. Josh from the Potawatomi Zoo introduced us to the sand cats during their feeding time. Take a look.
When you're at the Potawatomi Zoo, you have to check out the Learning Center. Not only are there classrooms, there's some really great animals, and we're getting a behind-the-scenes look at feeding some of the sand cats. Josh.
Yes, this is one of my favorite areas. I love the Learning Center. We have so many little monkeys and the sloth and all that, but yeah, we have these sand cats, and it's funny, we just got these last year. We've had them about a year now, and when we first got them, I thought, how are people going to receive cats? Like, they look like house cats. I tell you what, these are one of the favorite animals at the zoo. We hear so much about these cats, and I think it's because people do relate to them so much because they're house cats. But
they're not your average cat.
They are not.
Where are they? Where would you normally find a sand cat?
So they come from Africa, and they're definitely a wild cat, so they're not domesticated. And you can tell that because look how they all look the same. I know the keepers and stuff can tell them apart, but like me looking at them, it's very, but like your house cat, every cat looks different. They all have different spots. But they've got just some really, really cool adaptations. They come from really arid regions. They hardly ever need water. They can get all their moisture from the rodents that they eat. And they have those ears. They can hear the sounds of the rodents under the sand when they know how to catch them. I mean, they have some really, really cool adaptations for surviving. It's pretty cool.
Are they the smallest cat here at the Potawatomi Zoo?
They are the smallest.
Yes, some big cats
we have
here
some
at
big
the
cats.
zoo.
They are the smallest cats that we have here at the zoo. Yep.
And having them for a year, I've loved watching just their unique way that they interact, because you're right, they're not your average house cat. So what are you seeing as the way that they play together, eat together, or interact and behave?
Yeah, so this is a family group here. So these are part of, we've talked about this before, the breeding programs at the zoo for the sustainability of the species. So they are part of a breeding program. We were joking earlier because they're all named after bread, mom and dad.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
Let's go into it now.
Well, so we have dad who was pumpernickel. I think mom was sourdough.
Toast.
So then in here we have their offspring, which is I think bagel, crouton.
Yep.
I can't go into all, but they're named
after bread.
They're all named after bread. But to your point about family dynamics, so you wouldn't typically see 5 sand cats living in the same habitat together because they can be pretty isolated in the wild. But this is a family group. So these are all boys here. So this is dad and his sons. All living in here. So usually that'll work. They call them the bachelor group. So this is a bachelor group of sand cats that we have here.
And we're watching them eat. We've talked about this before. Being a nonprofit zoo, the budget of the food is quite high to be able to make sure that you're giving a well-balanced diet and an individualized diet to each species. What does it look like behind the scenes in the kitchen, in the cafeteria here at the zoo?
What's funny is we've joked that these 5 sand cats almost cost more than our tigers, to believe it or not.
Why is that?
Because if you notice, we're feeding these little mice here. They don't eat cat food. They eat these mice.
That's too bad.
The cost of these bags of mice are insane. They get so many of them, where like the tigers has a manufactured meat that comes, so it actually costs sometimes more to feed the mice than it does even the meat that comes for our big tigers. So these 5 sand cats probably cost close to $20,000 a year to feed. So yeah, so when we talk about being a nonprofit and we're raising money for the zoo, I think people forget sometimes that's just these sand cats.
Right.
We have 300 other animals in the zoo that all get food, so it adds up really, really quick.
And you work with a lot of incredible community sponsors and supporters, but the best way, look at this one taking it, look, rolling over, but the best way to continue to support the zoo is to become a member. Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you do that?
The zoo is growing so much. We've got so many new exhibits. The giraffes are here. Becoming a member, you can come anytime you want. Come in for an hour, leave for, people, we're seeing that more and more. It's just a quick little stop. You can stop in, go online, check out the prices. There's a package for anybody. You can be a single parent,
grandparents, everybody.
Membership, grab that membership, and yeah, come to the zoo.
Lots of classes, and of course you could just sit here and watch these sand cats probably all morning long. So of course, check out their website, become a member of the Potawatomi Zoo today.
Check out the sand cats and all of the animals at the Potawatomi Zoo by becoming a member. Give them a call, 574-235-9800, or check out pottawatomizoo.org or easy